And we are live. Thank you, everybody who's tuning in. This is another awesome episode. I say awesome because whatever. Of the Bad Filipino. I'm your host, Myki Angeline. We are in season 2, and this is episode 3. I really do way too many. I did way too many episodes that first season because I crunched them all in 5 weeks. And I am really thrilled and I've been counting down the days and the minutes and the hours till I have this opportunity to speak with Bex Francis.
What's up? How's it going?
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Taking that time on a Friday night on Friday the 13th. I didn't even notice that when we day. It's been actually a really great day. How have you been today?
Yeah, I've been doing awesome. I was just working and then have this great opportunity to speak with you. So it's a perfect Friday, right?
It is. And we had rain because we're both in the Sacramento area here in California. And we had rain today, which was glorious. I love rain.
Me too. I mean,
we could have used it 4 months ago, but I still love it.
Right? I used to live in a rainforest.
Oh, well, wait, where?
In Alaska, in Juneau, Alaska, at the temperate rainforest.
Oh, duh. Okay. Whoa. I never focus on the fact that there are rainforests in Alaska. It's always the tundra and the snow, right? But that's only 6 months out of the year.
Very true.
What is it like living in a rainforest, though? Well, compared to dry Sacramento.
Complete opposite. I mean, it's definitely always raining. And then there's only sometimes the sun is out kind of thing. And when there's Sundays, like everybody goes out. But if there are too many sunny days in a row, then everybody starts whining and asking for the rain to come back.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Interesting. Well, I guess that makes sense if that's something you're used to, because here we are in dry Sacramento, and we will complain if it rains too much. And then we'll complain when there's no rain. And then we don't know how to drive in it once the rain. Like today, I'm sure there were, hopefully not, knock on wood, accidents, but people just don't know. And so, all right. So as we talk, because you have so much you've accomplished, but we will whittle it down. We're going to go over, you getting here in Sacramento, what prompted you to get into the film and activism scene here. And we will go over, like, you got SacGeeks going on. You've got this amazing organization, Not My Hoodie Project, and then your recent job with Uptown Studios. So why don't we get to the nitty gritty? Because I think a lot of people want to learn about Bex and what brought you here to Sacramento and got you into the scene.
Definitely. So I actually grew up in Roseville, California. So just neighboring Sacramento. And so I spent the majority of my life there. As I said, I've lived in Alaska. I spent 9 years of my life there, sometime on the East Coast here in Seattle. But, and then back to Sacramento. I love it here. It's such a great community, such a great geek community too, which I love. We have a growing media and film place, lots of opportunities happening and coming here. So, yeah.
I agree with that. As far as especially with film. I mean, I've worked predominantly in music, as you can tell from my intro, but I also know a lot of people that work in film. And in fact, I even had Sally Forcier Casting on here the last time because I've worked with her on a couple films. I mean, extra work, but still, and I've had sort of an inside look on what it takes to film a film, right? The waiting, especially as an extra, you wait all day and then you film your scenes and then you film your scenes over and then you film your scenes over. And right? Because we're not as important as extras are. We're not as important. So we sometimes we're waiting 2 hours before we're out there, and then we're redoing that same scene 5 times. And maybe the whole work was an hour total, but we were there for 12 hours to get there. But it was the coolest experience because I'm seeing it from that inside angle that I've never seen before. And ever since then, when I watch a movie or I watch a TV show, I'm looking at it in a different lens now, right? Because I'm like, I catch that, or I know about that, or, and it's super cool. How about you? Have you been involved with any films here in Sacramento?
Mostly just like short films. So I usually produce, and I'm actually working on a stop animation film. It's part live action, part stop animation called Pops. So that's kind of the project that I've been working on. So, but yeah, it's going to take forever to do. It'll probably take us a year because stop animation is not
I was going to
easy.
say people still do that. So that's the whole
Yep.
old school, not doing everything digitally, right?
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
We're just
that's so
got to
cool.
get the armatures and stuff. But that project's actually led by Matt Shappy.
Shout out to Matt Shappy.
Yep.
Oh, look at, and we've got Bruce. Bruce says, hello.
Hey,
Hello there, Bruce. Thank you for being here. Pop any questions, by the way, if you're listening, please, because we're live right now on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitch. And if you have any questions for Bex or just in general, pop them in and we'll make sure to respond. You made me think about, because now with the holidays coming and I'm old. So I'm remembering the old school claymations, Rudolph and New Year's and Santa Claus is coming to town. Yes, and it's all stop action because it was filmed in the 60s and the 70s and or 60s and but it brings back such nostalgia for me. There is something about that. And I just love that you're kind of getting involved with that. So it'll take about a year, you said. Please keep me posted and keep us posted because I would love to see that. That's just going to be so nostalgic. Man, that's going to take forever.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so give us a little touch on SacGeeks and what your involvement is, and then we'll go into what it's been like since the pandemic.
For sure, yeah. So I love SacGeeks, first of all. It was created by Stephanie, and she decided to step back at the beginning of this year. I took that over with Talia, and also I'm the president and co-director right now. And well, I have to say that it wasn't what we thought it would be this year for everyone, of course, because of COVID. We got to get in one or two kind of conventions before everything started shutting down. And people were really sad, actually. People were sad. All their conventions were getting down. There was a lot of people that were probably feeling depressed and alone. So one of the things that I decided to do was throw QuaranCon. So we did 2 QuaranCons. We SacGeeks matched up with all these amazing different podcasters, and we had guests, and we were with the Cartoon Art Museum in San Francisco. They partnered with us too, and we threw an online convention, and it was super fun. And we did twice. 2 times.
QuaranCon. That is so cool. So, okay,
Right.
So that took over because, like you said, all the other cons, because Sacramento has a big con that happens. I think it's in the spring or in the summer.
We have a lot of conventions, but
the big one that would happen at the they had to renovate it, the convention center itself downtown Sacramento.
Well, it depends on what you consider, because like Sac Anime is pretty much is a huge one here.
That's true. That's true.
But we sometimes have a Wizard Roll that has come through here, and we've had Sinister Creature Con. We've lots of really great cons around here. And I'm also on the board of for the West Sacramento Intergalactic Expo, which was something that SacGeeks actually started. It was called May the 4th Be With You long back ago. But and that usually it's kind of more pop culture now, but it was based on like sci-fi and started off as a Star Wars kind of convention too. So, but yeah, it was really fun. We had I guess we had 2 people from The Mandalorian come through.
Stop it, because a new episode aired today, and my daughter and I are going to watch it after I do my ladies rock camp. What?
Yeah.
Who did you have?
Maybe we had Dominic Pace was one of the ones. He played Gecko, and I forget the other person's name, and I'm like hit myself with the head. Actually, I should go get my baby Yoda. Let me go grab him real quick.
Oh, the child, because I have the child too.
Everybody has the child.
The child.
I can reach mine.
I'm gonna bring it on. Child. Look, yes. And Katie's in the room. Katie's another fellow mother, busy doing music. She's a music star who is a mother and teaches, because you are, just so for those of you who don't know Bex, she's involved in like many like projects and companies. I had to ask her which websites to throw up for you all to follow, because she literally has 8, and she's a mother. So it's like, shout out to working moms, hustling, making the dream come true like you. I'm still stoked about the whole the Mandalorian because I just watched. They did the behind the scenes thing. It's the round table. Well, I didn't watch all
It's
of them.
so
I think there's
interesting.
there's like 9, and they do the whole round table with the different people behind the scenes, the actors, everything. And it was really, especially because they have, I think, 5 directors on that, I believe. 5 directors. And they're all from different walks and different, they add so much to it, right? And you could tell like which episode is theirs and whatnot. But so when you said Mandarin, that's like so cool. And you said you've hosted 2 of those. How different was that for people? How was the interaction with that, doing a QuarCon online versus, being in person? And did people dress up? I'm assuming.
So we had like a little contest thing where people submitted pictures in. I don't think that people necessarily were dressing up, but how we did it was that you got to go to each person that was hosting their own little mini panel kind of, and you got to switch over. And then we have this really cool app that you can still get on your phone. It's web-based, so it's called it's like a QuarCon.app, I think it is. And you could go there and you could watch in the videos. And we also had people that were artists that we were promoting them. So we were doing that kind of like artist alley that you would see. And I actually got some really cool stuff I bought from the vendors that were there, and got some really cool geek gear. Yeah, so anything we can do to support. That's what it was. We wanted to have that, bring people together because people were feeling lonely. We wanted to support our artists and still kind of have that togetherness. So that was one of the things that we did. And then I guess it was last month now, we did a film festival too. So we had kind of like a geeky nerd undertone film festival with this. We partnered with the Sacramento Film Project and put on the SacFilmChallenge. So
yes, the SacFilmChallenge, and you just completed that. I remember seeing those things popped up. I wasn't able to participate. But I wanted to at least watch it. I didn't get a chance to. And how did that go?
You know what? It went really well. We had people from all around the world submit, and we had some excellent films. It was the first time that I've been involved in an online. It had to be online again. We were supposed to have it at the IMAX, but obviously due to COVID, we had to go do it virtual.
That would have been so amazing.
Yeah. So next year we're hoping to maybe even do like a half and half kind of thing. So still have a virtual element, but I definitely, if we can be in person, I miss that, but it was so great. And we had panels and stuff. I think some of the panels you can still watch on Facebook and everything. And just, way to support filmmakers and artists.
So when you, I'm guessing you put the buzz out and told people they could submit their work, were people creating things after they saw that? Or did some people throw in works they've had for a while? Because that's the one thing this quarantine did for folks, especially creatives, was you really kind of dove in and found ways to remain creative, to be inspired. And it sounds like with that, there was their outlet,
Definitely. So our highest category that people submitted to was the quarantine shorts. That was the highest one. So you're right. And I love that too, because exactly what you said, just people, even though we're in a condition where we have to social distance and things are like we don't know what's going to happen, right? The creativity is still happening and it's still going, and people were creating, and there was some really amazing stuff that people submitted. And so it was just fun to watch that.
That's so cool.
I loved it.
Now, is that saved anywhere if someone wants to go back and check that out, or was that a one-time kind of thing?
So the film festival itself was a one-time thing because you had to watch it in real time. And that's because some of these people are trying to maybe get their film to another festival, or maybe they're trying to get a contract with Netflix and stuff. So it had to be real time. But you can, if you go to the SacFilmChallenge Facebook page, you can watch some of the interviews that we had, like behind the scene interviews with some of the filmmakers, some of which were from Sacramento. We had somebody from the East Coast. We had, I think, somebody from Australia. So yeah.
Now, see, that's the trade-off when you have to do things online is you'll sometimes it works in the favor of being able to reach a broader audience for someone that might not have been able to afford a ticket to come out, right? Or to go out and participate in these events. You now have an ability to participate and be a part of something really amazing like that. So kudos to you and your team for putting on something so essential for folks.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. One of the other many things that I do is, so for the love of cinema, right now we've been supporting. We got my friend Leah Lathan that worked for Disney. She came out and spoke to people in Sacramento like right before COVID, and then COVID hit again, and we were trying to think of things that we could do. So we've been kind of doing like a writers group, and we watch movies together, or we submit scripts, and we'll have speakers. And one of the speakers that we had was Lisa Rich. And she was so cool because she was one of the first women writers on Star Trek Next Generation. And she started in her 40s.
What? Yes. I love that show. That came out in what, 87? That was my jam. Oh, because it's funny you bring that up because LeVar Burton, we're signing the petition to get him to be the next Jeopardy host. So it's like, and I know Reading Rainbow, we remember him in Reading Rainbow, but I loved him as Geordie LaForge. It was like, what?
Yeah.
Of course, he was wearing the banana clip.
Look at my Facebook profile. You'll see my Facebook profile is me and LeVar.
Stop it.
Because I got to interview him. I got to interview him. So
spill it. What was it like? Because he's a native here from Sacramento.
It was amazing. Yes.
Is he as sweet in person as he seems?
Yeah, like super sweet. He's so nice and kind and amazing. Just everything that you would think that he would be, he is. And he's like really sincere about stuff too. I
love it.
It was awesome. Definitely.
Yay. Oh, I love it. He should be the host.
If somebody's going to take it over, then I think he would do the best justice to it. And he's well respected and honored, and it would follow a legacy. So
totally, because that's the thing is you're filling the shoes of someone who's been the only host since the inception of the show, and that's a very careful line to walk. And you're right. I think he would be a wonderful person to kind of carry on that torch without disrespecting, Trebek at all. Rest in peace, of course, because they've been showing a lot of the stories with him, and it's just been so. He's another great guy. So you follow it with another great guy. It sounds like you've met quite a plethora of people because you are involved with so much. So what would you like? You want to? Because I'm kind of wondering if I'd like to hear if you've met another person before we go into your special project.
Who do you want to know who do you think?
Like someone else that you've met that was really awesome that you've interviewed or you got to work with or you pulled into, you know what I mean? Pulled into a project.
Yeah, I mean, through my career, I've met some cool people. I used to work at PBS like a long time ago. And I remember when Britney Spears came through our studio at Channel 6 and she was so small and she had these two big black eyes, like the bodyguards. And she was like this little teeny thing. And it was just, I'm like, that she's not small because everyone looks bigger when they're on television and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I've met a lot of cool people. I don't know. Everyone's cool. You're cool. I met you.
Oh, and we're talking about this off camera and of course, Dane threw in that we have to talk about him because of the connection. But knowing that we are affiliated with so many people in here since freaking the 90s, and yet you and we have yet to meet. That's crazy, right?
It's the first time. Yeah, it is crazy because we're kind of in similar fields and stuff.
Yeah. Because so PBS, you said you worked with Access for a bit.
Mm-hmm. At Access Sacramento.
Yeah, because I did too for a bit. I was like one of the hosts for Soapbox for like 7 months.
Totally remember them. That was a sad show to lose.
I was on there. I was on there in 2016. So I became with the help of a friend who I didn't, she was like, hey, they're looking, I think you should do it. And she like opened doors for me, and I'd never hosted a live TV show before, and we would do the back-to-backs, right? So we would do one live and then one tape for the following, and it was different because it was more on a political activism end, right? And so I welcomed it. I was like, oh, I've never really done this. Let's do it. And I was like, yep. And I think I did about 6 shows or 7 episodes, I think. And that was a really awesome experience. And they're so nice there. Like, they're so
Definitely.
cool to work with. And they're so understanding too. And they walk you through things when you don't understand it. And they're so patient. And I was like, oh, thank God. So I don't want to ruin, this already amazing thing going on. Right. And then here I come in and just wreck the whole thing. But so when did you work with them, or you do now?
No, I don't work with them. I work at Uptown Studios now. So
okay. Well,
shout out to Uptown Studios.
Well, yeah, I know. I didn't know if you were like doing them at all, like, deciding, yeah, up on
No,
that.
I'm not.
Let's close out with that. But let's talk about your next project, which is the Not My Hoodie, right? Let me share the screen so everyone can see your promo video for this, because it's really important. Hold on. We're going to do this so people can see why it's so important. Then we'll play it. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't think I hit volume. There we go. Because people wouldn't be able to hear it if I didn't do this right the first time.
What's the silent version? The silent version.
Everyone likes to be silent. Oh, you know what? I think I lost it. That's me. Here we go. I'm just doing so great. All right, here we go.
Oh,
that's not it?
Again.
How did I lose it again?
You clicked out of it, but Jennifer Nettles.
I love her.
There it is.
There we go.
To my eyes.
There we go.
What do you see?
Educator, dancer,
Musician,
artist,
scientist,
activist,
cardiologist,
brother,
son,
father,
is it more important to defy your expectations?
or exceed my own.
let's inspire hope.
let's change perceptions, change expectations,
See me as I see myself.
see me as I am,
See me.
See me.
see me.
See me.
Not My Hoodie.
That is
Thank
so
you for
cool.
sharing that.
Absolutely. Thank you for doing that. So, because that's a very important organization to have. And share with us what it's about and what inspired you to get that even started.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the reason that we kind of created that was because there was so much stuff going on in the world. And, the hoodie often is thought of in a negative light, like somebody that might be a hoodlum or doing something. And there's been so many people of color, especially Black men, that have been killed. And we needed to do something, especially with all the stuff that was happening. And we were trying to figure out, like, what could we do? What can we do? Because we're just filmmakers, we're just like artists. How can we make a difference? So we decided to create Not My Hoodie. There's a group of us, and those are real people, real dancer, real doctor, real scientist, and showing them in this light. So you see them with their hoodie, like automatically people think of negative connotations that involved with the hoodie, right? And then you see them with how they normally are. And hopefully somebody will see this and be like, oh, like maybe I am judgy, and that's not, that's not these people. We're not defined by the clothes that we wear. It's really who we are, and that we need to recognize that stuff's happening and we need to step up about this injustice, and people need to do something. And that was one of the things that we could do was share that and hopefully inspire change. So.
And I love that, and that you explain that, because it's this weird contrast that we have where we identify, because fashion is so important for people. and what we wear. And yet at the same time, we'll stereotype somebody in what they wear, and we'll stereotype somebody by their gender and or color of their skin with what they wear, and so when you did that, the first time I saw that video, it just smacked me, because when you see the contrast between a doctor and then in a hoodie and a dancer and then a hoodie, and you realize, oh yeah, I do it too, right? I mean, whether it's bad, indifferent, good, we do it. So the first thing you don't want to do is if you feel fear, that's on you. I mean, I'm not trying to take away from anyone who might have had a traumatic experience being jumped by somebody with a hoodie, which is a totally different thing than the world in general assuming when they see a kid running, a black kid running, and he's got a hoodie on, he's up to no good. He could just be cold and he's got a hoodie over his head. We've had too many instances this whole year where that was the situation. So I love that project. So how is it? Okay, so when did you start it, and what's the end goal for that?
Well, I mean, we started it pretty much like during the riots, the more recent riots during COVID is when we kind of came together, and there's a few of us. I'm just keeping everyone's names private because
absolutely
there's a couple of people that are allowed to speak on behalf, but and yeah, we were just trying to think of something that we could do because we couldn't just watch any longer. And I mean, the goal is to basically like change the perspective and encourage people to, have this enlightenment. And hopefully we don't continue this role of judging people by their skin. And I think that something's happened amazing. We're going to have this really cool vice president.
We could talk about this every show all day long. Yes. Yes. The excitement, women of color, Black women, we have to have a woman in the highest seat of power in this nation, really, right under the president. Like, that's incredible. Incredible.
Yeah. And I also like an Asian woman too. Like, I don't want them, like we both get her. So I want to make sure that
yes.
we need to share.
Did you feel? Describe the moment, please, that when you first saw, because I got a text from ResistBot, the announcement, right? That's last Saturday. How did you feel?
I cried. Yeah. It was like, it's been such a hateful ride, and I understand that people have the way that they feel, but it's been hard, being a person of color and having kids of my own. And there's been a lot of hate regardless. And people have been like sharing that hate on Facebook. And, finally I'm like, this is the America that I want, where it doesn't matter what this color of their skin, like we still have that opportunity to be the best that we can. And I totally, as just like a woman of color, just appreciate people that have done these steps. I mean, when I was telling you about Lisa Rich, I mean, that was huge. There was a woman on Star Trek Next Generation writing when there was never a person. And the fact that she was in her 40s.
So huge.
Because you have like sexism, you have ageism, and she was one of those people that actually are pioneers for the rest of us. So it takes all these women who have been before to get to where we are, and I just want to like thank all of them. It's awesome. And this is a better time. I think this is a good time. People are listening. They're hearing our voices. So I definitely cried. Still crying.
I know I think this is the first time you just made me cry on my show. Because
Sorry.
I am, no, please don't. I appreciate, I respect and appreciate your ability to be just vulnerable right now in this moment, because I felt the same way. And it wasn't just for me, but it was for every woman that feels the way that you feel. It was the biggest relief off of my shoulders for myself and the world, for my daughter, for your daughters, for Black men of color, queer, right? Non-binary, trans, because of all of everything that we've gone through. The moment I'm telling you, resist bot. I was getting any sleep because this was taking forever. And I thought, okay, I need to get sleep. So then I finally gave into that. And they said, you'll get a text. And I wake up and I turn on because I turned my phone off completely when I go to bed. It's not on at all. And I turn it on and I see congrats. I was like, what? And then I went to all my socials and sure enough, they went ahead and announced him that Saturday morning. And it was like, I laughed, like threw back and laughed like, yes. And then I'm crying. And then I've got my TV on and I've got my laptop on and I'm hitting up people and seeing the video of the people dancing in the streets.
It was amazing.
Dancing in the streets.
Dancing in the streets.
If that doesn't tell you how much we were needing this change, right? So now it feels, honestly, it's still, we've got a ways to go because, he is doing all he can. He is holding on with fingernails. He does not want, he's going to be dragged out. But even though he's doing that, I'm handling the news a lot better knowing he's going to be gone soon. Like that feeling, you see the light at the end of the tunnel and all of a sudden it's just, yeah, he's being another dick again, but that's okay because it won't be much longer. Like it just won't be much longer. You want it gone, but it won't be much longer. That's how I felt that way today. So, and then Kamala, oh my gosh. Yes. From the Bay. What? So I'm like, right? Whoo, yeah, I don't know. It was, I didn't think I'd see that in my lifetime. That's another thing. I'm 52 and I was hoping and throwing it out to the universe and I didn't think I'd see it in my lifetime. And I did. And it's opening for, the AOCs and the Stacey Abrams and the Elizabeth Warrens, like it's opening doors. So this is the first of many waves of change we're going to see with women, with queer, non-binary people. And it's all across the board. You've seen it, like even in the world, not just in our nation, but different positions of power. We're seeing a lot more representation is what's so key. It isn't this whitewash of white men.
And this is the time as a filmmaker or creator, content creator, for people that are listening to hear your voice, to get they want your show, they want your movies, they want your ideas.
They do.
Put it out
and
there.
It's more open than ever. Mm-hmm. It's more open than ever because before that we were scared and shut down. We really were. We didn't feel like anyone had our backs when it came to from the top all the way down to local law enforcement, judges, whoever made rules. We did not feel like there was anything. Now we know we can, and there's that shimmer. So you're right. Those listening and watching, Bex is absolutely right. You've got something going on in your brain, create it, throw it out there. Just throw caution to the wind. Don't worry about it being perfected. Don't worry about what other people will think. Just do it. Right. You will thank yourself later. You are a part of history now. Every step from this moment on, you're a part of history now.
Right. And it's your story. And only you have your story. So you're the right one to write it. You're the right one to share it.
Lord. Okay. Oh, look at, so Eva says, thanks for this. Oh, thank you, Eva.
Thanks, Eva.
She's riding with Biden. And how thrilled was I when I started following Major and Champ's Twitter account, and then they liked my tweet when I shared them. Yeah, I got excited. I am so thrilled that dogs are allowed back into the White House. I'm thrilled that Major is actually a rescue.
Yeah.
So he's the first rescue to be in the White House. Like, that's just thrilling. All these firsts. I'm here for it. These changes just keep them coming because it's just making me feel better. I'm less bitter. I can get sleep now. Is that happening for you yet? I mean,
oh yeah, well,
maybe a little.
I'm still on Twitter late night, just seeing what's going on.
Right. And I say this because I'll be very candid. It's a very different walk for you as a Black woman in America with children versus me being half Filipino. Like, it doesn't touch. I know it doesn't because I have friends and I've heard stories and I know. So that's why I asked, even though this feels good for you, do you feel like you still have a ways, or is it just, are you relishing this moment right now?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely still have a ways, but I see the change, and I see the change for women and stuff. And it's been happening. I'm a part of this club called Women in Media. It's based out of Los Angeles. And
amazing.
Yeah, they're really cool because they are.
I feel like I get a part on that.
Yeah, you should. I mean, because they're advocates of getting more women into jobs above and below the line, you know. So, and I see that's happened. That when they started it, they were seeing those things too, and more women. You see more people, women directing. I mean, when you went to, I was going to say Bryce Dallas Howard, because she was doing The Mandalorian. She just had an episode.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, yes. Oh my gosh,
Bryce
she's incredible.
is amazing. Yeah,
oh
and
my gosh.
you can tell with her episodes too, because it has a lot of like love in her. Because I think she was like an actor first. She has a different point of view. I think I don't know. She might be the only woman directing The Mandalorian right now. I don't think there's another woman. So, but who would have thunk, you know? But here we are.
Here we are. Right? In fact, like they just announced today, Kim Ng, she's the first general manager for an official MLB team for the Marin Marlins, right? Baseball. I was like,
oh yeah,
what?
That's awesome.
Yes. So it's like all these we're getting all these small successes and these small wins. When I say small, meaning like as a whole, for her, it's huge. But for the change that's happening in our nation, it's that small success that's that building block and while we're tearing down the old patriarchy, we're building our own, right?
Yeah, this is all huge.
Like, ear to ear, it just feels so good. Oh, I cannot wait. I tell you what, we are all gonna hug the heck out of one another as soon as this goes safe, because as we close this out, and shout out to Uptown Studios, we're going to go into that. Please remember, everybody, Sacramento hit the purple tier. We're talking about COVID again. Placer and I believe it's Placer and Yellow hit red. And we just had the person who's refusing to leave deny wanting to do any shutdowns, not even talking about wearing masks. He had already said a week ago that no one was going to talk about it because it just wasn't a big deal. The very man who got it himself. So let's be safe, because while we have all these wins, it's not going to amount if we're getting sick and or dying from COVID. It's not. So let's stay focused on the distancing and the washing the hands and the wearing the masks, because I'm sure you, Bex, are on the same boat with me. I would love to be able to spend a summer outside of my house, and I would love to be able to travel again. So, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So as we close up, let us know about your new title. You got hired at Uptown Studios here in Sacramento. What's that been like for you?
I love it. Yeah, I get to work with such a great team. I love Tina. Love you, Tina. Yeah, they do so much. And they're a company that actually cares about people and cares about like social issues. They help all these like nonprofits. It's such a great place to work. And I'm happy that I got to go over there. So
I've heard such great things about that place. Congratulations. So you got a little shout out here.
Oh,
look at that, Dinonis. You are a prime example of throwing caution to the wind, putting yourself out there. I feel that. Thank you for that shout out to Bex, because it's the truth. Because I just learned it's all about connections. It's all about who you know and building the bridges and not burning them, because our mutual friend, Christina Marie, is how I found out about you. And I've worked with Christina since 2014, 13, just off and on with things. And so it's crazy how, as small as we think the world is, it's even smaller when it's in your own city. And I'm like, how am I just interviewing you for the first time, but we've never met, but we've been in the same circles since the 90s. How did that happen?
I don't know.
Crazy. So before we wrap this up, did you have anything you wanted to share? I know with the Not My Hoodie for sure. Did you have anything else you wanted to like let people know to kind of follow you on? Is there do you want me to bring it back to SacGeeks?
I mean, any of the little things that she said, probably you can find me on. If you look at Miss Diva Bex, I'm on both Twitter and Insta personally. But yeah, if you went to SacGeeks or somewhere, then you can put a message there. Not My Hoodie, put a message.
Yes.
For London City Web, put a message.
Sure, she would love to collaborate with you. I'm sure after this, Bex, you and I are going to collaborate on something. And everybody who's listening in, thank you for your support. I do appreciate it. Like I said, this is season 2, episode 3. Click that subscribe wherever you're watching. If it's YouTube, if it's Facebook, if it's Twitch, because then you're going to get reminders when things pop up, because we get so busy and we forget. Lord knows I have to. I have friends that have their shows and I hit my subscribe so that they pop up in reminders of things. It's like the best way. And Bex, I want to thank you so much for taking the time, carving out your Friday the 13th to spend some time with me. And
Yes.
congratulations.
Best day of the week, right? Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Well, it is for
That's
me.
like-
and it is
That's
for
like
you.
it. That's like a geek one. Friday the 13th.
Is it
Perfect,
really?
right? I don't know.
I can never do the heart. How am I? I don't know what's wrong with my hands. I can't ever. Like I'm
What's
just
wrong with them?
I love you with an apple.
What am I doing with my hands?
What am I doing with my hands? Alrighty, everybody, make sure to follow Stock Support. Of course, especially with the notmyhoodie.org. Big time, right? Hashtag not my hoodie. This is Myki Angeline signing off, reminding everybody that every day you wake up, it is you who determines how your day will go. So let us do our best. Let us all manifest. Biden and Harrison taking over like yesterday.